Welcome to the official Windows 8 channel, and today is April 8, 2014, and what April 8 brings is Patch Tuesday for all Windows users. First of all, the last patch for Windows XP. So it's finished. No more Windows XP patch. It's over for at the average user. It's not over for the business users that are on XP. They still have patches until, I believe, 2018. But those patches won't go down to the average user. So by Windows XP patches, it doesn't mean that you have to scrap Windows XP yet. I think with by using another browser like Chrome or Firefox, and by having good antivirus, anti-malware software, you still can do a little while with Windows XP. It's not a an end date. It's not going to stop working today. I think a lot of people are under the impression that it is. For Windows 8, well, we've got our Update 1 today. What is Update 1? Well, there's a chance that you might not have it yet. It is slowly being sent out. Since it wasn't in my Windows Update, I actually went to the Microsoft download site and downloaded all the patches manually, so I can actually have it faster and I can actually talk about it before anyone installs it. So Update 1 installed in about, I'd say, 40 minutes. It took about 30 to 40 minutes for all of the updates that are in the package today to install. The biggest update is what is called Update 1, and Update 1 is about 690 megabyte download. It is not like Windows 8.1 update. Windows 8.1 update was really a big update. It was truly more of a kind of a new version of Windows. The Update 1 is more of a service pack type update. It's a big update, but it doesn't change the core of Windows 8.1 by itself, but it does make changes to the UI, to the interface of Windows 8.1. The first thing you'll notice once you've done the update is that on the start screen, we now have the search directly on the start screen. So this is going to save a lot of time, especially if you have a touch device. Now you've got it there. You don't have to take out the charms bar. That was kind of annoying. Now you got it right there. I think they understood we wanted there. The other great thing, and now they finally understood, that famous shutdown button is on the start screen. I don't even understand why that was not there even in the first version of Windows 8.1. A third change to the start screen is that your taskbar, if you go at the bottom, is now part of your start screen. Yes, that taskbar that's on the desktop is on your start screen also. If you go down and swipe up, or if you go with your mouse all the way down, the taskbar is finally there. And this is really nice, because if you are using desktop tiles or desktop apps, for example, if I'm using Chrome desktop, well, now I don't have to go to the desktop to click an icon. As long as it's pinned to my taskbar, I can go down and just click on it, and it brings me to desktop and the desktop program that I want to use. This is a great change. Anybody that has a mouse, that uses mouse, and that uses desktop, and kind of wants a mixed bag, using, I'm part of that. I use maybe 30% of the time start screen Metro apps, and the rest of the time is the taskbar. But especially if you always boot through the start menu instead of booting to the desktop, well, now going to the start menu or booting through the start menu, you can still have an easy access to your desktop apps, and this is really cool. The only thing you have to do is pin them to that taskbar. Another big change for people using mouse. Now when we right click an app, before we had the menus at the bottom, and that's where changes would be done. But now they've done right click, a nice little drop down menu that shows up. Now keep in mind that this is the view that you have from a mouse and a point and click type interface, which is my laptop. That is not a touch interface. And depending on you having a touch device, a tablet like a Surface Pro, or having a device that is basically more mouse and keyboard, like a desktop or a non-touch laptop, things are much easier. Now, right-click an app, you've got the drop-down menu. It's much easier. It feels more like when you right-click a program in Windows 7. So this is a great improvement for anybody using a mouse and keyboard. Another great thing here is that you can now pin to taskbar any apps from the start screen. So I told you we now have that famous taskbar show up even in the start screen. But the reverse is true. If you have got an app that is Metro only, for example, I often go use Netflix, right click and just pin to taskbar. That means that when you're on your desktop and using desktop programs and working on your desktop, you can still click your Netflix or your app that is Metro and have it working. While an app is working, you also have access, if you go to the bottom of these apps, you still have access to that famous taskbar. And this is really, really cool. That's something that was not available before. Another great change is when you're in an app that is a Metro Modern UI app, you can go at the top and there's a X. You can now close the app by clicking that famous X. And that is more like a Windows style window with that little red X on the upper right side of the screen. So this is another really, really good improvement. So people, one of the questions a lot of people ask is, how do I close an app? How do I close an app? How do I shut down an app? I don't see that X. And I've heard it so many times from different clients of mine. So now we have that X on the upper side, right side of the screen on Metro apps. By default, we now also have in the desktop taskbar the Microsoft Store. Now, one of the problems with the Microsoft Store is that if you're a desktop user of Windows 8, what's going to happen is that you have practically no idea that the Windows Store exists. And they want to change that because lots of the reports is going to lots of reports are actually showing that the Metro or the Windows Store apps are kind of leveling off. They had like a great start and there's no progression of that store as much as they wanted. So by putting the Microsoft Store in the taskbar, they hope to actually help you go to that Microsoft Store a little more. So this is quite cool. Another great idea here in the Windows 8.1 update 1 is the fact that now manufacturers will, if they want, just pre-program a boot to desktop automatically. They don't. It's not something that's going to be, by default, because a lot of the people by default just wanted to go to the desktop, but they were buying computers and they were getting to the start screen, and that's a little change that's going to really probably make companies want to boot to desktop directly on their Windows 8 machine to kind of ease the pain of new people getting to Windows 8 and kind of being a little lost here. So there's a lot of nice little things here, and this is really cool. Performance-wise, the computer is fast, if not a little faster to boot up. Update 1 seems to be slightly faster than it was in just Windows 8.1, so no problems here on the boot up. On the usage of the computer, same speed, does feel very fluid, feels quite good. So I think that could be nice. I think this adds a lot of features that people wanted, and I think it might actually help people like Windows 8 a little more. Will people, because of the way it is now, want to work more with start menu apps, because there's a easier way to actually switch between desktop and Metro UI? I'm not really sure. I actually think what they just did is improve the way that people are still using the desktop and maybe make them want to use the desktop more. I'm not sure they're going to use apps more. It's going to be an interesting thing to see, actually. And well, these are pretty much for people that wanted, by the way, a real start menu. We still don't have a start menu. It still just alternates between a desktop and the start screen. There's no start menu like in Windows 7. A lot of people were thinking, oh, this is the update for that. No, it's not. No start menu yet. Microsoft Build Conference did mention that Windows 8 will eventually have a start menu like before. But there's a question here, because that's what is not clear. We are under the impression that we would have an update eventually that will bring it up to Windows 8. But the question that a lot of people are asking is, maybe it's not going to appear in Windows 8, but will appear in Windows 9. And so that would mean that you basically would have to purchase a new operating system to get your start menu. So these are all tweaks. Nobody knows if we'll have an update 2. Nobody knows if Windows 8.1 will eventually be called Windows 8.2 with a bigger update. Lots of unanswered questions. Things are not clear, and even though they mention a start button with the start menu like in Windows 7, we actually aren't sure if it's going to appear in Windows 8. Is it going to be another update of Windows 8, or is it just going to be in Windows 9? Nobody knows, and there's no answer. When Microsoft, Paul Thurrott and Mary Jo Foley talked about it, they said when they asked these questions, there's basically no answer from the Microsoft side. So they kind of don't want to talk about it for some reason, and I think they're kind of stuck with the idea that they'll have to introduce it at some point, because that's something people are missing in Windows 8. So hopefully your update will go well. Personally, like I said, I installed it manually because I wanted to be an early reviewer on YouTube from the official release. And but if you wait in the next few hours or a couple of days, you should have Windows 8.1 Update 1 pop up. It's basically not called Update 1 anymore, because they don't want to give you the idea that there's maybe going to be an Update 2 or 3 or 4 or etc. So it's just called Windows 8.1 Update, and that's it. And it's part of the, of course, Patch Tuesday this week. So apart from a few fixes for bugs and holes in the security, they are releasing this big package. 690 megabyte download. So if you're in a slow connection, don't be surprised that it might take a few days before your computer pops up and says, hey, here we are, we have a update that's installing now. And of course, the best way to know if you are in update 1, if you're not sure, well, two sure signs of it. One is that famous Microsoft Store being pinned to your taskbar on the desktop. So if you're just boot to desktop and you never see the start screen or almost never see it, if you see the Microsoft Store here on the taskbar in the bottom of the desktop, you are in update 1. And if you are booting to the start screen, well, if you see that power shut off and that little search icon next to your username or user account, well, you're in update 1, and that's all you need to know. If you enjoyed this review of update 1 for Windows 8, please subscribe to our channel and you'll be informed when new videos are online. If you have any comments or questions on what you've seen, let us know. Maybe you have a video, a feature you'd like us to talk about. Why not ask away? And hopefully we are helping you learn more and more about Windows 8. And hopefully the update will go well and will be appreciated with all Windows 8 users. Thanks for watching and hope to see you again on the official Windows 8 channel. Bye-bye.